Hey everyone, Brian Johnson again with thestockmentor.com. Going to do an after market video just to wrap things up here. Okay, the Dow, what we looked at yesterday was the fact that we were getting ready and poised to push up and over 12,300. That was my next entry point for those of you that may have missed the 12,200. Like I said, it was a tough trade down here because we got the gap up, then the retrace, then the push up. In this case, we got a nice push up and through, which is precisely what I love to see. So for those of you that were patient and waited this morning, at the very beginning of the day, you got that push up and through 12,300, got you into a very nice trade because it went straight up for quite a while. It's always nice to see your moves go in the direction you want them to very quickly once they're made. We got up into this overhead area after 2-3 hours, kind of small little high base, if you will, here, and then a tiny little what appears to be an attempt at a push. Anyway, brilliant trade. Hope you guys got in on this. It was above that 12,300 mark, worked out beautifully. The pullback did not happen today, so 1, 2, 3, what could have been a 4 then a 5 is still a 1, 2, I think a 3. I just can't even see this any other way but that. So is the 3 wave over? Nah, I don't know. It's anybody's guess, but this sure looks like it maybe has. This might have been some sort of a little move here before another push upwards. If we happen to get a gap up in the morning, might just want to warn you to be a little bit on the cautious side. We might see a gap up and then a move straight down to start the day. That would not surprise me in the least bit because of the heavy moves to the upside that we've had. Now we are not up too far, but we are getting a little bit extended up here. Still well within the ranges of a wave 3, if you will, or within a bull move. This is not out of the ordinary to see this kind of strength, especially in what I believe is now a wave 3 here. So anyway, point being, if we gap up here in the morning to 12,450, 12,500, look for maybe a pullback. If you are still in your trade to the long side, make sure your stops are in place, and then tomorrow morning watch to see where we open. Point being, we are back up and above this 12,300, and more importantly, we cleared the what? 50-day moving average. I would have expected to see a little bit of stop, pause, break, wait here at the 12,375 mark, and as you can see, we got up into about the they rose just above that 12,375 mark and then pulled back into it before that final little launch upwards. It was really kind of nice. Typically you see it run up into the 50-day, something like this. Run into the 50-day, then pull back, then run up and through it. But as I mentioned, if this is a wave 3, I said these type of overhead areas are going to go down. And that's exactly what we saw today. It wasn't like they held for a day or anything like that. I mean, they just flat out got lost today. Now, tomorrow, will that hold? Will we see maybe a close back below that 50-day tomorrow? It's anybody's guess. I always give the bears a chance to kind of reclaim some property once they've lost that. So I will be watching for that closely coming into tomorrow's trading. But the fact that we even got up and above and closed the 50 days on the first attempt, it is what it is, guys. It's pretty strong. So if you're bearish, you want to be a little cautious in here. Play a little bit of hedge, maybe. I want to watch here, too, to see if we can get any further pushes to the upside. I'm still liking what? This 12,575 to 12,600 area above us for... could be the end of the 3 wave, could be the end of the 5 wave ultimately, but anyway, for a pause, break, rest, whatever it might be, this is what I'm looking for. Next overhead target, as we talked about. Oh, I guess you guys haven't seen it yet. Anyway, I won't bring it up then. It was in my Elliott Wave video, but you'll see it when that comes out. NASDAQ 60-minute, we are up and above. This little, what was a bear flag, has now been broken. That's exactly what wave 3s do. Where was my entry for you? Above 2,300. We saw that today. Where were my targets? The targets were between this 2320, 2330-ish area. We gap filled perfectly on this 60-minute. Notice how I had this little line drawn in yesterday? And look, tap, tap, pull back a little bit, tap. I think it's going down. Eventually, I think this will get broke. Your next move is then above 2330. But what a perfect push up and into overhead resistance. I have done nothing but just simply move my stops up. As I said, if you guys took target prices and took profits here, good for you. Nice trade. Made a little money today. 25 points out of that move. I don't know if he pulled all 25 points, let's be honest. Let's say 15 to 20 points out of that move to the upside. But that break above 2,300 worked very nicely. That was one of my day trades today. I've been in a swing trade since back here above this 20-day moving average after the consolidation. This push here, taking us above 2260, still has me in a trade. I've just done nothing but move my stop up. Looking for these higher levels as well by the time we're done, and that could be 2365, 2370, 2375. Let's call it 2370, 2375. Seems to me I remember quite a bit of overhead resistance and support sitting up in that area. I think that might be ultimately where we are headed, making this a very curious looking chart with the new push. Not only that, we're working on the 20-week moving average. Now, my gut tells me that by the end of tomorrow, we may see a move back into this area, close at it, below it, on it, close to it. That would coincide with maybe a, if you will, a wave 4 pullback in the markets. We've seen the 1, 2, 3 that we've been working on. Maybe wave 4 comes tomorrow, closes tomorrow on a Friday, back below the 20-week moving average, and then we pass that come Monday or Tuesday of next week. Just my gut. That's all I'm going off of here, guys. This wave 3 that we've been watching may still not be over with. These wave 3s are strong, and it is very difficult to predict where they will eventually end their time. So, my gut, just off the cuff, I would tell you to watch closely the 20-week moving averages coming into the end of the week. By the way, Monday we have off. This is a 3-day weekend. I don't know if there are going to be a whole lot of bulls that are going to want to necessarily hold over the weekend. A lot of times they get kind of cautious on a 3-day weekend just to make sure that nothing major happens, like the world goes to hell in a handbasket on Monday and they're stuck in bad positions they don't want to be in come Tuesday. So it would not surprise me, as I said, to see a little bit of a pullback tomorrow afternoon sometime as well. SPX 60 came right up into this overhead area, didn't hold very long, but then used it as what? Support. We broke it and came back to rest on it as support. This is actually pretty strong. Usually it lands here and then kind of dodges below it. This one just blew right through it and then pulled right back into it. So gone are the 1317, gone are the 1320. We'll see if we get some sort of a wave 4, as I said, pullback tomorrow, which would coincide with some other moving averages on the weeklies. Look at this, breaking, closing above the 50-week moving average. Yeah, so this break above the 1300 was a good one. Like I said, very difficult to kind of trade that. My move was back here around this 1280, 1285-ish. I actually have been trading the futures. I mean, I'm using the SPX chart, but technically I'm trading the futures. And I'll go ahead and show you where I'm at actually on that. Let me bring over my futures chart, show you what I was following there. Here is my futures chart. I don't know. Like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here. Then an A, B, C correction. This could be a 1, 2, 3. I don't know. Just throwing it out there. Really. Anyway, point being, I think there's still some more up left in this move. If this was 1, 2, this would be 3. That might not be done with. Then we have a 4 pullback, then a 5 yet to come, which means there are still higher prices yet to be here. Is this whole move a C wave? Is this whole move a new wave 1? I don't know, guys. I don't think I'd be guessing at that. It could be one or the other. This is why Elliott wave needs to be used as confirmation and indication. You'll see that when the Elliott wave video comes out. Point being, this was my move right here. See this yellow line right here? Oops, that yellow line right there. When we broke that yellow line, that was my entry point. It got me right above 1280, I think was my fill, because there was some other stuff going on in there I wanted to break first. So right around 1280. Anyway, I've got some futures contracts that I've been running up here and just are still in them for the time being. So this is my futures chart. This is what I love to trade. This is what I've been going to be doing a lot more of next week. But anyway, point being, this is my futures chart. This is where I think we're at. I love what I'm seeing here from the bull side so far. Closing these 50-day moving averages, that's big. VIX way down. I shouldn't say way down. It's down, but I'll tell you what, it's not down by any big stretch of the imagination. However, it's below the 1920 range, and I've told you guys that's where I like to see this thing stay. Look for the week. We're just falling out of bed here. We've seen these red over and over and over again. The markets seem to want to clear the way and hey we're going, and then yeah, no, not so much, not so scared anymore, and the volatility comes pouring out of the markets. Lather, rinse, repeat. Just go back in your charts and look at these things. So we'll see where we close the week. Maybe back up here in this area is fine, but if it doesn't close in the 1920 area, I'm not really all that scared about its move. This was interesting. FAS really didn't move much. Look at this overhead area of 26 holding very nicely. I made mention of this yesterday at the market close, that 26 was my next overhead area. We got a good hold right up here with this overhead resistance area of 26. No real trades to talk about today, as we just kind of little indecision doji sitting up here. Our real move was above this line here, about 24.60, 24.70 yesterday. If you're in it and still in it, move your stops up. If we continue to the upside, this is your targets. I really like these moving averages sitting up here. These would be really good price targets, and then it's up to you if you want to hold over the 3-day weekend. FAZ, 60 minutes, same thing, falling down and through here. I like to give them a chance, the market's a chance to pull this thing back up, and they could not do it. So this is a pretty good break. Now, if you took the trade, the next trade I suggested here on a more speculative trade was below the 50-day moving average. If you took that trade today, by the end of it, you were up maybe break even or possibly a couple of cents. So make sure you send your commission checks to me for that brilliant trade I had for you guys. Okay, anyway, point being, if we continue down tomorrow here in the FAZ, I do like this thing short again tomorrow. Maybe below 44.15, 44.10, or 44 bucks in overall, might make for a good trade. I'd be very cautious with this coming into that 3-day weekend. We've broke this blue line down here. We've come back to retest it today, and it held once already. So this move is pretty serious. We have not broke this line since May. So the financials here are showing us a little bit of strength, if you will, because this is a bear ETF. So the financials, maybe, nothing major, but yeah, I mean, the banks are going to have to help us out if the bulls are going to make a run at this thing and on to new highs. Let's also run over really quick some of the other trades I was showing you guys during the course of the week. SPX, yeah, we talked about that. AHD still stuck in this bull flag. Be watching that one. APL right at the very top of this falling wedge. Watch that very closely. I still love that above this $34 area, but it might need a little bit of a pullback here, and then it's pushed to the upside. Anyway, above 30. This one here was one I had on the slope post today. That's looking like a very cherry head and shoulders for the time being, but you got to get confirmation, guys. Don't jump the route, all right? Below 25.50. That is your move. That is your short opportunity. MEAS, this thing above 35 to 36 was my call. I don't know. I don't think it came out in time for anybody to catch that. But anyway, this was just a cherry move. We had a high of 35.88, and we did start below the 35, rolled up and through it. This was a really, really nice trade today that I got in on. I don't know if anybody else did, though. It might have come out a little late for anybody to really make a move on that. And I like this one above 61. Keep your eye on this one over the next few days. If we don't get a move tomorrow, though, guys, I recommend... I really don't recommend holding over 3-day weekends. I don't like doing it myself. My longer-term trades, my investment account, that type of stuff, whatever. But if I'm going to hold something for even a couple of days, I'm not going to do it over a 3-day weekend. I can always get back in on Tuesday, and if I lose a couple points here and there, I don't care. It's all about saving my money and risk management for me. So above 61, though, might not be a bad day trade. And or keep this one in mind coming into early next week. We have closed the month. This is it. We have moving into July 1 as of tomorrow. I don't know if they're necessarily see any fireworks or anything like that. But point being, keep in mind, you go to your monthly charts now. We can start looking at those because those did close today. All right, guys. Be back later with some more information for you. Hope you're enjoying the videos, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye.